Oh my goodness, guys. It's about that time. It's about that time. Another session here on the Geek Hybrid page, on the Geek Hybrid YouTube page. Oh goodness. Today was such a beautiful day. Today was I just have no words. I have no words. Let's just get into it because I'm excited. Now let's look at the account. Just pay attention to the account. This this account was so low yesterday. It was ridiculous. I think this account was as low as what, 66.99. I think it was 6,699. And yesterday I was at 78.80 and lost a whole gang of money. Lost just 1,100 bucks or so, and oh man, I had to salvage that back. Got it back up to what you see now, which is 7,291 bucks, and it was just such a trip. So yesterday in the video, I mentioned that this particular rebound that I had, getting it back to this amount, really oddly enough made me feel good about myself. It made me feel good about today, about going into today. So that's where I'm at now. That's where my mentality is right now. My body language may not necessarily show that in the video, but that's how I feel most definitely right now. So right now I'm looking at this particular situation, and today what I decided to do was I decided to just be a lot more patient. That's why this video is pretty short. Yesterday this video was pretty long. It was about an hour long. The one before that was about 45 minutes, but this one's even shorter because I was just that patient. You see right now, the time is about 9:42 Eastern time, 6:42 in LA, where I'm from, where I live. And I just decided not to take any trade until it was just undeniable. And that's pretty much what happened. I was only taking calculated trades. Not that I don't take calculated trades, but I really wanted this to be uber super duper calculated. I didn't want to do any more test trades, testing levels. I didn't want to, take any wild trades like I did yesterday. I was taking some really odd trades yesterday. So I was really disappointed in myself and disappointed in just the whole situation. So today, as you can see, I have more of an intent to be patient, more of an intent to just take the opportunities that are staring me down in the face and saying, "Hey, take me now," take me now. That's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for a take me now trade, So the past couple of days, you've seen me just jump in, just take trades. Now, yesterday, I probably would have taken a trade like this for whatever reason. I probably would have taken it and would have just bombed this trade. And that's just not going to happen today. I just did not allow myself to go there. The other thing I want to mention here, too, is on the chart, we're looking at a sideways market right now. It is a sideways correction. It appears to be a flat correction. But the flat corrections, again, I'm an Elliott wave trader, so the flat corrections are very tricky because with flat corrections, what happens is one of two things happen. Depending on the flat correction, if it's like a V-shaped flat correction, you have more of a chance for it to reverse and kind of just extend. Okay, you'll get an impulse. More than likely, you'll get an impulse wave out of that V-shaped sort of flat correction. The U-shaped flat correction, which is what you're looking at here, is kind of a U-ish, sort of a U sort of flat correction. What happens here is, it tends to extend down further or up farther. So in this instance, I am anticipating that this will continue downward. Okay, so as you can see here in the jump cut here, I am contemplating taking this trade because my suspicions are starting to show itself. So this flat correction, it tried to extend up there at that other wave just before it, just right on the 200 moving average. Okay, before it came back down to where it is right now. Okay, that to me that looks as if, okay, that was a momentary move to the upside. Now it's going to continue on the downside. So that was my anticipation. Okay, so that pullback there towards the 200, that's what I was looking at and trying and what I was looking at to see what would happen around that area. So now that I know that it pretty much tanked all the way down to the level where it is now, which is pretty much it's as flat as it can get. I mean, it's right at the low. It's right at that low. If you look to the left side, it's matching that low. So it appears as if it's going to pass that low at some point. It did come back up, as you've seen there. And as you can see, I was very patient in a lot of these trades because I could have taken a lot of those opportunities, but I just didn't take them. Okay, I needed like double, triple confirmation, which I felt at this moment I did here. So I did take this trade, okay, and I took it to the downside because my anticipation is that it will touch that 200, okay, excuse me, not the 200. It'll touch the 20 moving average, which is the blue line. It'll touch the 20 period, and it will come crashing down. That's what I'm anticipating. And it started to kind of, teeter around a little bit and kind of do its thing. But this is one of those trades where I feel like, that it just has to, it has no place else to go but down right now. This is the dominant trend right now today. So even though it is a correction, we are in a correction phase, but this is a very short correction phase because the momentum is pointing downward. That's where the momentum is really, truly pointing towards. And because I know this, that's why I took this trade. Okay, so right now I'm patiently waiting. I got in right in the turn of the next binary cycle. So I'm in at around 17 minutes. Okay, so I'm pretty good to go here. So even if it does kind of go and extend a little bit, at some point it will come down. It will come crashing down. Okay, so this I do know, this I am confident in this scenario. Okay, so it will retest at that low. It will retest, and that was my anticipation. So you can see here, still kind of hanging around, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident because of the time. I'm more so confident because of the time than I am about, whatever's going on. So this is what is helping my confidence because I'm like, this is it's 19 minutes that, it's 20 minutes in the binaries and I'm 16 minutes into this thing. So this 5-minute candle is about to end. And one thing that you need to keep in mind, if you haven't really paid attention yet while watching these sessions, somewhere around the last minute or the last 30 seconds of the of the candle, it starts to go crazy. Okay, so we're down to the last minute of this candle, and it's just starting to make its move to the downside. So here I am, I'm getting set, I'm getting ready to take some profit. I'm already looking like, looking good. I'm already looking in good shape. So things are looking really good. So the way that this looks, it's coming crashing down just as I anticipated. I'm taking profit just in case it comes back up and retests. I just want to take as much as I can. And what I do here, what I like to do is, even though I know that this is going to come down, like this is going to come down. Okay. It's going to retest at that low. Okay. At that prior low. And it's going to retest it. And in many cases, it will bounce off of it. So what I decided to do was I just decided to take these profits. Okay. And I'm up about $300. Okay. And I'm okay with that. Right. And the thing is, I could have, if you notice on the right side, right here where the binary is, where you see 39 and 45, pay attention to that, because as that's coming down, I could have taken a whole lot of profit, right? I could have cleaned up. This thing probably would have been at like 77 something by now. And I still would have taken profit even there. But I take profit because even though it looks like it's just going to come crashing down, and it is coming down, keep in mind, I did mention that it's just retesting that low. I know it's a retest move. Okay. So it's going to retest to that low, and in many cases, it's going to come back up. So while the momentum is high, while the momentum is riding high, I just ride the momentum, and I just take profits. I just decide which levels I want to take profit from. So it's good to have that choice as it's crashing down. You can say, do I want to take profit at this point? Do I want to wait until it gives me some more money? What do I want to do? In this instance, I took advantage of that momentum, that striding momentum, and I took that profit. Because the thing is, what happens is, as you see here, look on the right side again, you see where it says 54.60. That's the same binary. If I would have waited any longer, I would have got caught watching. I would have got stuck in it, in a between a rock and a hard place, and I would have been contemplating whether or not I want to stick around and see how long it's going to continue this. And what happens is, a lot of people get stuck in between that space, in between that initial momentum and the actual test, so because you get a little greedy, you're like, okay, it has to keep going. It has to keep going. And you just get caught watching your profits. And all of a sudden your profits start to get eaten up. And that's not what I wanted to experience, so I just allowed myself to just take that profit and just move forward, and not get stuck or anything, and feel good about the situation. So as you can see here, it's testing that low. Like I said, if you pay attention to that candle, it's touching that low, right? And as it touches that low, where now I'm paying attention to if it's just going to test it, touch it, and then bounce back up. And I see these things happen 1,000 times. And this is pretty much like a like a flat correction within a flat correction. So you have this big flat correction, and then you got this little flat correction here that you're looking at right now. So in other words, this level that has formed this little miniature flat correction, if this thing bounces all the way off, it could absolutely bounce back towards that 200 period, back towards that 20 period moving average, which is the blue line. It could move its way right back to there, because that happens a lot. Once momentum kind of surges one way, it snaps back. So I'm anticipating that it's going to snap back. So right now, I'm not taking any trades. Like I said, today was one of my more patient days. I was really, really, really patient today. So I'm looking at this candle. This candle is really going to tell all here. Okay. And sometimes when I'm looking at situations like this, it's very tempting to get into these trades. I know that many of you could be, are watching this and you're like, what is this guy doing? You should get in that situation. It's going to pass that low, and et cetera, et cetera. It will, and it does later on in the day. But the thing is, when you're messing with binaries, because mind you, these are binary options now. When you mess with binaries, you're messing with time. You're now considering time and momentum. So you can't just make rash decisions around binaries. You can't make the same type of decisions you usually make, like in a Forex account or like a TD Ameritrade or something. You have to really tread lightly. And as you've seen the past couple of days, what you already witnessed firsthand. You got in a front row seat of what happens when you rush or when you just jump into trades. You could lose money very quickly. So with all that said, we see here that this initial candle, it does go past that low. So that's a new low. It is creating a new low. So what I'm going to pay attention to now is the next candle, because the next candle could possibly be could possibly pull back or snap back to that prior low. Okay. And do its thing or whatever it's going to do. But I'm not going to take any trades right now at this moment because there's nothing setting up a reason for me to take one. Right. So even though you see this candle coming down, even though you see this leg touching, it's already making its way back up. It's already kind of snapping back a little bit. The next candle is going to definitely reveal its intentions, and more than likely a lot of times it will sort of creep its way back to the prior low. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here. Okay. And I know I mentioned earlier that the candle we're looking at now usually touches those lows and then kind of snaps back. Sometimes it does that, other times it does this, but then that next candle, which is forming right now, a lot of times that comes back, that snaps back a lot of times. Okay. And this is a candle that I'm most intrigued by, because if this candle starts to create a doji or starts to really come down and create a star or whatever's doing, like if it were to go up and touch that low and then snap back down and create that big wick, then I would definitely consider getting in. But there's nothing that is showing any indication of that. If anything, if I were to guess any indication, it's showing me that there's going to be a short or a slightly extended pullback to that prior low. Maybe. I would just guess. But, we're not in the business of guessing. So, hey. So here, as we move forward, I'm still patient, still just patiently waiting. Okay. Because a lot of novices and a lot of individuals who haven't been trading the game that long, and even if you have, some people have the tendency, they love trading, trading in this position. Let me just say that they love, people like trading in this position because they think this is some kind of confirmation or something. And it's really not. This is where people start losing money. And every now and then you'll win some money doing this, but you don't want to get into a trade when it's at its lowest point or its highest point. You don't want to trade when it's, overextended, or if whatever the case is, so you don't want to trade on on the back end of big long bars and, stuff like that, unless there is some serious momentum, which is rare, by the way. So with that said, you could be looking at this and you could be saying, hey, that's the time to go and sell the market, but not really, because you really need to have a distinct look. You need to have a very distinct indication of what's going on. If anything, because I have these moving averages there, it could snap its way back to that 20 period average. It could. Okay, because it is extended way past that moving average. And many times when it's overextended past that moving average, you really need to pay attention very closely, because if you just jump the gun, you can make a very bad decision. So what I'm looking for here is just for something to show me a reason to take a trade. I don't, for in my plan, not any random reason, of course, but just a reason within my method to show me that it's okay to take this position, which is what I should have been doing yesterday. So this is the game, people. It's more of a waiting game. Okay, so I'm sitting here waiting very patiently. Again, as you look at the clock here on the left side ticking, okay, the bottom left, this tells you how long it has taken me to take the second trade. Now, yesterday, it took me less than 30 minutes. It took me less than an hour to take 2 trades and to lose $800 within the hour. I lost $800 in an hour yesterday. Okay. So that's already something there. So now I made $300. Okay. Or just less than $300. And now I'm almost 3 hours into the session. So I've only taken 1 trade in 3 hours of the session. Now just keep that in mind. Okay, just keep that in mind as you're looking at this. So I'm really looking at this closely because I don't want to unnecessarily risk this account on some foolish candle or some foolish move. Okay, so I'm really looking at this closely, and as you can see on the right side in my webcam, see my face. I'm really watching. I'm watching very tentatively. I'm watching very closely. Because I'm just looking for that one opportunity to show me what I need to see. Okay. So right now I'm just waiting for this thing to form and show me what I need to see. And what happened was I waited until around now about an hour. It took me about an hour to see this move. Now this is the move I really love. I love these moves because this is one of those other distinct moves that I like to take. And it's just at the right sweet time there. I mean, right as the binary starts. Right? So I'm already 19 minutes in. Okay. So I'm in there. It's 19 minutes left. And it's already surging down. I'm already in the money. I'm already making my money. Right? So I'm making my money. It's at 150, 160. I think what do I do? I think I wait a little bit more patiently because I'm waiting for it to test that low. I'm waiting to see if it's going to test that low from this candle. So I'm already at 350. I take profit, but what happened was it didn't fill, not until that moment. So I take that profit. I feel good about it. If it didn't slip me out, I would have been at exactly $300 profit, but I made about $500 maybe. So I'm already getting ready to break even. I'm actually about $100 or about $98 away from breaking even, totally breaking even. So, I feel really good right about now. I'm feeling really good about what happened today and what's going on at this moment. So, yeah, I didn't break any rules today. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And that's what you have to do. There are going to be some mistakes that are going to be made every now and then if they kind of happen to you, but you got to be able to respond to these things. You got to be poised. And I was poised enough to elevate my account from 1,100 down all the way to nearly breaking even. So this is really good, guys. And I did take one more trade. I think I took one last trade that I got really tentative about. I think I just kind of got a little shook up because I didn't want to lose any more than what I had right here because the momentum was just so high. So and I love my momentum days. So I never want to just haphazardly just lose momentum and just make any rash decisions. So you see here, this is my last trade that I did take. This is the trade here that I have mixed feelings about. Well, let's just wait till I take the trade. Okay, I took it here. Okay, so here, what I was looking at was in that low that you see, right at the bottom of that low, that candle just starts to pass that low. Now that tells me that the next candle for sure, even when that 5-minute period, because mind you, now remember what I said before, I don't really take 5-minute trades. I really don't take those because it really starts to put me on my toes a little bit. And I really don't like taking those kinds of trades. But I took this one because it was just too tasty. So it started kind of teetering, bouncing around. I started to get a little concerned. So I'm looking at what's going on. I'm waiting for that next candle to show up, which it does. So this next 5-minute cycle, I'm paying very, very, very close attention to what this thing is going to do. And I'm trying to assess, whether or not it's going to make its move at this candle. So I think at this time I'm kind of like, okay, push come to shove, I can, depending on the situation, I can wait till it kind of comes down, and if it doesn't surge down, then I'll just salvage whatever I can. Hopefully, like in the hundreds. This is kind of going on in my mind. So I'm kind of like, okay, if it goes down to hundreds, I'll just take that loss instead of like taking a full loss, which would have been like, I don't know, close to $400, and that would have been devastating because I pretty much would have broken even or something. From yesterday, possibly. No, actually, I would have been just above. I would have been like maybe $100 over the amount I made yesterday. But anyway, right about now, I'm looking real closely. You see the concern on my face. I'm really looking closely at this candle. I'm in pretty good shape because of the momentum, because of the impulse wave that you're looking at right now, and because of the time. I'm like, this is about. So there we go. We got that going on there, and yeah, it's at around. Now I should have took profit there right at that 100, but I just decided to get out. I just got out, and yeah. So I made that extra $50, and it's a little bit disappointing. You see me shaking my head. I'm shaking my head because I'm like, a little bit later, I see this thing kind of fly down, and I'm like, if I would have hung on just a little, like not even 30 seconds longer, I would have been well over profit, and I would have been probably at 8,000. It would have been like an $800 turnaround. So that would have really put me, in a huge, huge momentum for tomorrow. But that's the way it goes, guys. So yep. So I had a really good day, and I'm proud of myself. I hope you guys are proud of me. Please like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're not subscribed. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Instagram as well. And until next time, until tomorrow, you guys have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.